When families travel, they have many things to deal with, including packing, getting to the airport on time, and keeping the children happy and occupied. The last thing they need to worry about is staying safe from criminals and terrorists. Now, business travel expert Joyce Gioia is here to share some simple tips to stay safe on the ground and also in the air. Joyce, very nice to have you again.
Harrison Ford and John Travolta both own their own airplanes, but most of us have to deal with the crowds that are generated by so many people traveling. In fact, the National Travel and Tourism Office of the United States tells us that 80.2 million of us will be traveling abroad, and even more of us will be traveling domestically. So I'm very excited to be here and share my 4 tips for traveling safely. So the first one is to stay vigilant. Now, the TSA and some of the police departments in certain cities are actually issuing these little badges to children so that they can deputize the children, because it's so important to, when you see something, to say something. And that bag that's sitting there next to the gate might be something that you shouldn't be touching. So even if there's nobody around and there's a bag there, tell somebody about it. And my second tip is to make sure that you keep your valuables with you at all times. Now, I love my crossbody bag. I wear it and I keep the bag under my arm so that I know where my valuables are. But when I'm on an airplane, I can only have those 2 pieces. And when I travel and I put my bag up in an overhead, it always goes in the overhead opposite where I'm sitting when I'm on a domestic flight, so that I can make sure to keep an eye on it. Now, when I'm on an international flight, it's different. I want it above me because they have to basically be on top of me to get to that.
Yeah.
But it's really important that you keep your things safe. And the third tip that I have is that before you book, go on the state.gov website and look at what are the alerts and warnings. Are there terrorist warnings for a country that you're thinking about going to? And also, I urge people to look for scams. Now, I'm on my way to Bangkok.
How fun is that? Can I go with you?
And there are 23 scams that are going on in Bangkok. But who wants to be a victim of that, right? So you want to check the internet ahead of time. You can even use your cell phone to check the internet ahead of time. So that's really great. And my 4th tip is just make sure that you plan ahead, that you be as thorough as possible in your packing and in your organizing, so that you have that sense of confidence. You don't have that feeling like you're kind of lost and not feeling secure about the trip. So plan ahead. I've also created 10 commandments for traveling well, which people can download from your website, from the Kagan website.
Excellent. It's all about being well prepared, of course, having the right things on hand, preparing in advance, looking at the warnings like you're saying. Very no-nonsense tips. In fact, I have never thought about putting my carry-on stuff aside, you know, the other side of the aisle. I've always put it above me, but that's a very good tip.
And by the way, one of my colleagues says there's 2 kinds of bags, lost and carry-on. And so whenever I'm traveling, if at all possible, I will just travel with these 2 bags, and I keep these 2 bags connected to my body, touching my body somewhere whenever I travel.
Very good tips, Joyce. Thanks for joining us again. Now, to keep you and your family safe on your next vacation, get more travel tips by logging on to roadwarriorinsights.com.